Well, I'm trying to get my ducks in a row, so to speak, here. A little hard to do this morning. This is, well, excuse me. Um, this is December the 27th, and this is the day that Lina Dempsey, the woman that I grew up thinking she was my mother, she was a cold-blooded killer. Um, this is her birth date. She's dead. She never paid for her crimes. Um, I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41. I was born in 39, and I was dropped off in Moulton, Alabama, pigsty, some 20 miles outside of Moulton. And I grew up being told that Lina Dempsey was my mother and that I was a twin named Peggy Ann Dempsey, and illegitimate, and I was called bastard, and I wore, what did they call it, feed sacks if I had a slip, and the kids used to tease me and pull it down beneath the dress I wore if I had a dress, but it's the way I was treated. It was just cold-blooded, and there's no way to tell the pain and suffering other than being kidnapped at age 2 from a loving home and brought to this country and dropped off in uh, surroundings that were really a pigsty. And by the way, I was told that Carl, the twin to Peggy, both of them had been killed by their mother, Lina. They were born out of wedlock. So they gave me Peggy's identity, and thus I was branded bastard. And back then, to be born out of wedlock was more or less the blame deposited upon the child, not the parent. So I'm going to get away from what I was going to say, I suppose, but today's her birthday. And she died in 92, and she made my life every minute a living hell along with all the other that went along with being kidnapped. I didn't find out about my kidnapping until the fall and winter of 83. I was in a political campaign and flown to Larry Flint's for political support, and I'd written a book, medical malpractice book, in 77, 78, while living in Marietta, Georgia. I wrote about Larry McDonald was one of the cases, and Mindcontrol murders, how you can program people to commit acts they would never commit. They aren't even aware they're going to commit them. But mind control and programming. But anyway, the irony is that so many things like this happen. I was given antifreeze on April the 1st, April Fool Day of 80, after receiving a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79. I thought it was in retaliation for doing the book, and maybe part of it was. But I found out my real name in 83, and my father is King Edward VIII. And the takedown of my father is really when things really went awry, and nobody stops to go back. And God knows I have told it since then, even though I've had to, and I'm serious, had to crawl, freeze, starve. It's odd how people have reacted to me when I found out what this country had done to me and my parents. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. My mom was Catholic, American Irish, and born in Madison or Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Her sister is Georgia O'Keefe, the artist, and I'm going to try to show those pictures in a minute. My own uncle, George the Sixth, was illegal. He stole the crown and helped take down my father, and they used Wallace Warfield Simpson, and that's how history records it. And even a movie that was made about the Duke and Duchess of Windsor is a total lie. Anyway, Elizabeth's always known it. They all have. Part of my family, I don't know, some of the Windsors, I think, probably tried to help. Most of them didn't. Some of my family that are German and the English citizens are the English citizens, let me say, are the ones that I've met on top of the Appalachian Trail, and along the way of my journey of being really tortured and killed along the way. I don't know how I'm still alive. So in case nobody cares to listen, because I've put it on, God knows, I've got so many videos. I'm on Facebook. I have turned all this over to the press, which is controlled by the Rockefeller, the very people that kidnapped me, the Rothschilds, and my own uncle had kidnapped me, Roosevelt. And I'm going to show you these pictures, and then I want to make some statements. This is my dad, the real King Edward VIII, and then I'm going to show you his brother with Roosevelt in 39, the year I was born, planning my kidnapping in 41. I'm going to show you the double that married Simpson and my Aunt Georgia and Elizabeth, who is very aware and always has been of my kidnapping and that she's a fraud. She's living on stolen money. She's given the Brits, she sold them out. She's a traitor. She's given everything away. So I want to show you that now, and then I want to read some things. And Kennedy, I want to say that Joseph Kennedy, again, was ambassador to England, 36, when my kidnapping, my father was taken down, all this happened. And then World War II started when I was kidnapped. And Joe Kennedy was ambassador till 46, I believe, when he was kicked out. Now then, if you read about John F. Kennedy that everybody adores and loves, and you'll see that he wrote a book in 1941, I believe, while England slept. I have not read the book, but I did Google and do some research. And John F. Kennedy and his brother Joe, who was shot down in a plane later, were there helping their father at the embassy in England. I wonder how much they helped, because they were flying in and out there when I was kidnapped. And I know Joe Kennedy, the father, helped in it. The Rockefellers, Rothschilds, my uncle, the New World Order, the Freemasons. So I'm going to show that, and then I want to make some comments if I've got time left on the video. This is my father, the real King Edward VIII. Now those are the pictures, and the reason I put that this on here is the implantable biochip, and it has it's out of a book called Project Lucid, and I believe Tex Mars. His last name was Mars. I believe this was his book, and it was published, I believe, in '96. Now I wrote my book about chips and all this, and the government, and I wrote about the Bohemian Club and stuff that wasn't even talked about then. But anyway, his book tells about chips. That's the reason I mentioned this, and I got the picture, Bio Twins. It's Timothy McVeigh, and he told everybody he had a chip put in him by the military. And then we've got, of course, William. They are illegitimate. They should be called illegitimate. I grew up being called not having a father, illegitimate, bastard, all those things, to find out I had one of the most honorable men in the world, leaders, for my father and my mother. I love her dearly. She's a great lady and was never known other than for being Georgia O'Keeffe's sister, which is great, but she's my mom. She was married to my father. Can you see when, now that her name is I'm going to go blank on it for some reason, that married Prince